Hey everybody, this is World of Enders. Boottspuur here with Mike from MagicalMike.
Mike from MagicalMike. Hello!
You are
Welcome.
magical, and
Welcome to
also
my
Mike.
channel where
Uh,
we're doing some duels. This is
yes,
this is
we
some
are.
split screen awesomeness, which was not exactly planned, but we had this idea and I don't know. What do you think?
I think this was a great idea. We just sort of met up for duels because we were just lucky enough to both be on different servers on the same world versus world fight. You're on FA, stupid FA, and I'm on
And you're on
bandwagoning
horrible
Hengivden
bandwagon
Ravi.
Henged Ravi. Oh man. So here we go. Necro versus Ele. I'm the Necro, you're the Ele.
And
Let's see.
yeah, so what's your build all about with your Necro?
My build on my Necro is very standard 10, 30, 0, 30, 0. So we're all condition damage and all siphoning health stuff on crits. So this is a very sort of PvE build, but conditions and stuff. It's a very standard Necro sort of build.
Okay, so
And
you went standard Necro Condi damage, but you didn't go either Doomfire or Terror.
no, I did not do that because for the Terror build you need to be in the last trait line. So I wasn't there. My only survivability is not from Death Shroud, it is um, from siphoning health
Uh-oh.
from
Uh-oh.
the blood stuff, and there you walked into my mark, and that was
10 stacks of bleeding, which
that
I
was
could
that.
not deal with. Ah, okay. So round one goes to you.
I don't think we should count rounds. This was just for funsies, and I don't want to look
Except
terrible.
you wrote round two on the video.
Well, I don't want to count wins, is what I meant.
All right, fine. But so yeah, my Ellie. I guess I guess I'll start talking about my
Yeah,
Ellie.
yeah, do so.
Okay, so my Ellie is not its. I was using an interesting change in my build for this fight. I should have been doing something else, what I usually do, which is a pure, crit damage, power damage, a little bit kind of uh, healing, a little bit of healing and toughness as well, so I sort of have a nice sustain. But instead, what I decided to do was go hybrid Condi damage Ellie, which is
Which
kind of
turned out to
weird.
be really hard to deal with, actually.
Yeah, and I was surprised. It's a lot of fun to use actually, because but okay, there is a problem with it because I did go fresh air and Condi damage, and the only way you're getting your Condi damage is if you're staying in Earth, and if you're doing fresh air, you're not going to be staying in Earth very long. So so it's sort of a choice between whether you're using Condis at any given time or doing your fresh air build. So I think I am changing up this build again, but it was fun to use while I was using it. So as you can see, I stayed in
It
Earth a lot there and
it
stacked a good
really,
amount of
really hurt me on
bleeds.
my Guardian, which you'll see over on World of Enders' channel at some point. That'll be more interesting. The bleeds really, really killed me. All you had to do was sit in Earth, and that was death. But for this matchup, the burst was what got me every single time. The
Yeah,
that
yeah.
horrible fire burst is just ridiculous.
And
The
going.
Phoenix mostly.
Oh yeah, the Phoenix is the way to go. That's how you burst in this game, because you always know when to dodge my churning Earth. So there's no point in doing it really, except I keep on trying.
It is worth trying because I've been known to fail churning Earth dodges so often. This fight's gonna end so quickly. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
You earthquaked my heal, and because I took out the Death Shroud trait that gives me Death Shroud, gives me Life Force on crit, I took that out for the weakness when I go into Death
Oh,
Shroud. I don't have that mechanic to actually save me from that. So once he went to my heal, I was done for. That
yeah.
was me dead.
And I was noticing that I don't have that much less damage than a normal power Ellie build in my hybrid form. It's so it's not that bad. Not much of a trade off. But here
And
we
that's
go. We got two thieves going
that
on.
was on my Rabid Necro as well with all that toughness, and it
Wait,
didn't make a
sorry, we
difference.
just missed an entire fight.
Yeah, that was pretty fast. I can sum that up very quickly. You engaged. I went, oh god, look at all the conditions, and died. And that was that.
Yep. So and then you remembered that your he skill removes all of damaging conditions pretty much.
I did, yeah, and that was pretty dumb. I don't think it removes torment though. I'm not sure about that. I'm gonna
They
roll
might have
again.
added to it because
Thief
I know that the heal skill was there before Torment existed, and it removed bleeding, poison, and confusion. I forget.
burning, I think.
Burning. Okay. So maybe it doesn't actually. I should use Torment
Anyway,
more often.
I swapped one of my traits around to remove conditions while I'm in stealth, which I thought would be really good because I can just cloak and dagger off you. But the amount of times that I miss cloak and dagger, you'll see it more than I'll be able to point it out. Because you've got this Condi build, right, and you've got all these dodges with Death Blossom, which I'm trying to sort of emulate as well, to try and get a few more dodges for myself.
Yeah. And I also have dodges. On my dodges, actually, I have Caltrops, which does more bleeding. So what I'm trying to do here is get you with my Basilisk Venom and then dodge around you a little bit and leave a lot of Caltrops and then Death Blossom. So you're stuck in all my bleeds. But
yeah, that was pretty successful when it worked, because every time I got a stack of conditions on me from the Venoms and the bleeds and the stuff, I would panic and immediately have to retreat, because the only way to do that is to stealth and use my heal and all sorts of stuff to try and get rid of them.
Yeah, so you said you're
really
sort of a
fight there.
You said you're sort of a standard power thief build?
I'm kind of standard. I am. Let me find my build here. My build is 0-30, 10-0-30, so it's not exactly standard because I've got the trickery traits in to steal stuff. So this is a PvE build, and even though it is a PvE build, I'm using the trickery stuff to steal boons and things like that, which is kind of nice, but doesn't come in handy all that often.
I've yet to have mastered stealing on my thief, even though it is a core mechanic. I hardly do it.
I do a lot of missing on my steal. Like, I'll try and do it while you're doing Death Blossom or things like that, and it'll just insert the cooldown and not actually work.
Yeah, you've definitely got. I mean, as you've mastered your invisibility a lot more than I have in this case, because you're toying with me in most in most of these fights. I've noticed figured out that you could evade my Death Blossom with another one of your moves. I forget which one. What is it? The
Pistol Whip. Yeah, that got nerfed a bit recently. I think only in PvP, so it's not going to make a difference in these fights. But
okay. So the build I'm running is, as you can see, a Venom build. I have the trait that gives you healing, and it heals you a little bit whenever you hit with your Venoms, and also does a little bit extra damage. And since that's not affected at all by critical damage, I decided to go just pure power, vitality, and condition damage. So it's actually a condition damage build with your Venoms and your Death Blossoming and so on and so forth. But it's got a good amount of sustain because it's got all that vitality and healing from your Venoms. And I kind of like it.
I've yet to try out that Venom heal on Thief. Is that actually any good, or is it, like, how does it compare to something like Signet of Malice, which isn't also top tier?
It is not a bad Venom. It's a little bit slow to. I would have liked it if it was instacast like the other Venoms, but obviously you can't do that because it's a heal skill, and there's no such thing as an instacast heal skill. But no, I kind of like it. It's a lot of healing if you're traded for it properly, because you have the 400 extra healing on your strike with a Venom with that trait, and then plus 700 with each hit. And it's an extra I think it's like a base 5,000 to begin with, so you have it when traded is about 12,000 heal.
I think that's the trick with it. I think without traits it's not very good at all, and with traits then it suddenly becomes like, oh, I might actually think about using this.
Yeah, I've tried, and I'm totally destroying you now. I don't know if anybody noticed.
I'm not attacking because I had a problem with this.
Destroying
I just felt like
you.
I didn't want to have to pay armor repair costs, but
Too bad.
You wanted me.
Too bad. I'm the winner. I'm the winner.
Such bad manner.
So, what I like, I'm actually going to probably change the build up a little bit. You gave me a good idea of using Caltrops and
Scorpion Wire?
Scorpion Wire, and I'm definitely going to do that now. More bleeds.
Also, instead of shortbow, maybe Pistol Dagger for the that one stealth attack that gives a load of bleeds at range, and you've also got the dual attack, which puts you back at range if they get into melee.
And auto attack bleeds, which is nice if I want to charge up my initiative again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do we have here? Mr. Fluffy Bottom versus
Necro. This, I think, was one of the more fun fights, at least for me. I don't know about you, because I don't use my NG that much, and I'd love to use it in structured PvP, but I'm just not confident enough with it.
Yeah.
With the new reward tracks, I might be more incentivized to do that, but this was a really good opportunity to mess with it. And
Yeah, and I had a lot
same
of
for
fun
you?
with this fight. It definitely seemed more intense than the other two fights we were having, except for maybe the Necro Ele fight. That was pretty intense too. But no, I've never dueled with my Necro before, and it was definitely a good experience because I noticed that it's not a bad build that I have going on.
Yeah, look at those vulnerability stacks. I've got 15 stacks on me just from you auto-attacking me for a little bit, and that's kind of scary. I have... My build is 30-0-0-30-10, so I have automated response, which makes me immune to conditions at 33% health, which is... It comes in handy a lot in these fights.
Hmm.
But if
Especially
you
with my
stack up that
fears.
much vulnerability on me before that kicks in, you're going to be able to burst me down in the end anyway.
Exactly, and if you notice, I am doing a lot of condition damage. It's because this is also a hybrid build, and the vulnerability, although very important for my life blasts, which are mostly like I think it's a 75% crit chance on my life blasts, but and those do a lot of damage too. I think right now I have 2,000 damage, but I'm gonna try to add more gear with crit damage on it to do more damage than that with my life blast. Get a little bit more hybridy. But this build is a little bit different than any build I've seen so far. It's a Death Shroud build that when you go into Death Shroud, oh yeah, once again,
And as we know,
cheapiness.
you're going to win a down fight because you can just siphon health from me all day.
Exactly. But as I was saying, it's a Death Shroud build that when I go into Death Shroud, I use basically almost all the Death Shroud traits that when you go into Death Shroud stuff happens. So I get Retaliation, I get Fury, I get you get Enfeebled, so that's weakness and bleeding on you if I'm next to you, and I also have 30 into that last trait line.
Yeah.
And so right now it's set up that I have 50% extra crit chance while in Death Shrouds for my life blasts. But if I wanted to be a little bit more tanky, I could put on the stability when I enter Death Shroud. And I'm pretty proud of it because I found sort of a loophole, not exactly a loophole, but
And I love this, by the way. I just have to interject that. I love this little loophole because I had no idea that it existed either. I don't even know if it counts as a loophole, but I love
it's
it.
just a mechanic. It's just the way it works. But not many people seem to know how good it is. I bet a lot of people, when using Death Shroud, when they're sick and tired of using it or they used all their skills, they just press F1 again and get out of it. But if you didn't know, what happens there is you get a 10-second cooldown, or if you're traded a 7 seconds cooldown, where you can't go back into Death Shroud, even if you have life force left. However, if you let your Death Shroud just cool off, go completely down, and you lose all your life force and get shunted back into the real world, there is no additional cooldown. So only the original cooldown from entering Death Shroud is there. And if you're in Death Shroud for more than 7 seconds or 10 seconds, if it's not traded, there is no cooldown. So if you do something to gain life force really fast again, which my build has in many different ways.
Axe 2, you've got the focus skills, you've got the spectral wall and the grasp. All those give a lot of life force. I was really surprised when I tried this out.
So basically I just use one skill when I'm out of Death Shroud, and then I could just press F1 and get right back into Death Shroud. And basically what that means is almost a ridiculous supply of additional life. And so not only is that tanky, but when you're traded for it, like I am with my 50% extra crit damage or crit chance, you're going to do a lot of damage. And you have the fears also on the skill 3 in your Death Shroud, and I'm traded so that my fear deals damage, 1,000 damage on each tick. I'm very proud of this build, I gotta tell you.
I now run a variation of this in structured PvP after the update because it's a lot of fun to use and it's remarkably tanky. It's scarily tanky even with Berserker stats on it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
And
so
this is the last fight, which is going to end sooner or later. So we've got a few seconds to say there's more of this sort of stuff if you enjoyed watching these duels. There's going to be more on WorldofEnders channel, over on Boots' channel, which
Yep,
you should
very
go
soon.
to. I'll put a link in the description for you to do that.
boom.
Boom indeed. I got destroyed there. Thanks for joining me, Boots. That was fun. I enjoyed these. It was good.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.